What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back just for a day of normality. That would be nice, wouldn't it, in Leeds United world? But we can't get that. It's been a crazy couple of days, crazy period. In fact, um, departure news. This almost feels like an end of season kind of video, but we're doing it 4 wins before the season finishes. But hey, Leeds United would have it any other way. Before I get into it, please like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, drop your comments in. Big shout out to Mr. P, Karen Curtin, Robert Purnell, John L for super thanks, and CJLS14, who's a new member of the channel. Memberships are in the description. Thank you very much for the support. Yeah, Thomas Kilmer put fast mode on, so season is over. I've been wanting this season over for quite a while, but yeah, it's insane, isn't it? What's happening? Oh, before I carry on, David O'Leary was on Talksport earlier, along with Lee Bowyer. Whenever them two go on, they've done it before when they've put those two on talking about Leeds. It always makes me want to put on Premier League years, and I'm probably going to do that later to remember the better times. To remember the better times. So yeah, shout out to them. And it's David O'Leary's birthday, and as he's my favorite manager, happy birthday, David O'Leary, one of my favorites. And hello to everyone in the chat. We'll talk about Orta later. We'll obviously talk about the departure of Gracia, and this is the welcome to Leeds video for Allardyce. Obviously, it's not been officially confirmed, but it's just, you know, the formalities being done. He's going to be here for the rest of the season, for the remaining 4 games, and Javi Gracia has been saying his goodbyes today. And yeah, it was overdue. It was well overdue. I mean, yeah. Big Sam's Barbie Army. When I first got the note that this was happening, I thought it was a joke. And I had to look. I looked on Twitter because it was via Phil Hay, and it's funny because Brownie said I had to check the Twitter account to see if it was the real one, and I did too. That's why I found it funny, because I had to check it too, because I thought, because all the verified ticks have gone, you don't know who's who unless you're actually following. And I do follow Phil, and he follows back, so it was easy to see. And when you see it's not an actual joke, it's like, okay. And you know what? I didn't get angry. I didn't get annoyed. I just started laughing. I was like, yeah, it's about on brand for how the season's going. And like I've put in the title, it literally is the last roll of the dice. I mean, Tottenham Toes thinks I was going to throw myself off a bridge when I heard the news, but I'm at the point where Javi Gracia, I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad he's gone. I've wanted him gone for a while. And you know, Big Sam Allardyce at Leeds United in 2023. Hey, if you don't laugh, but who knows? I feel this is going to sound crazy. I feel a bit more optimistic with Sam Allardyce in the seat than I did with Javi Gracia. That's just the way I feel. I didn't have any confidence in Javi Gracia. And I said yesterday on the video that I had a scoreline in mind for the Man City game if Gracia is still here. It was 8-0. And I think I'm probably being generous with that. I had visions of Haaland getting a first half hat trick, being subbed off, and then Mahrez or someone else coming on and getting a second hat trick in the second half. That's how I was feeling with Javi Gracia. So I'm glad that he is gone from the team. But as many people have said, to go from Bielsa to Allardyce is one hell of a fall. It's one hell of a fall. But that isn't, again, I saw somebody earlier saying about you got what you wish for and everything else like that. No, what I wish for was to get better. I didn't wish for this. But you know what? This is what we've got right now. This is what we've got. It's unbelievable when you think about it. Big Sam, you know. And you know what? I was thinking earlier as well. You remember a few weeks back when somebody made the joke in here about Roy Hodgson being willed from the sunny window, and we all laughed at that. So you got to be careful what you laugh at, man. Karma come back around. Now we're wheeling Sam Allardyce out the sunny window, and it's one of them. But if he can keep us up, well, he's going to get paid very well, because apparently he's looking at a 7-figure bonus for keeping us up. Good on him. But you can see with this appointment, by the way, just how desperate it is. This is the last roll of the dice. This is it. There's no more cards to play. We've played all of them. Signed players, sack managers. At 4 games to go now, rehiring a new manager. This is it. This is it now. This is all we got. And it's funny how, I mean, a lot of people are saying that we're going to go down, and I understand. But now you've got rival fans of other teams that he's managed, like Newcastle, saying, "I wonder if he's going to upset our Champions League bid." West Ham fans saying he's going to come back to haunt us. So it's really interesting to see the different opinions going around about this. Matt here saying, not ideal, KG, but I think we at least have a chance. Javi, we were done 100%. I said in previous videos, Matt, and you were here, that it just felt like we was on a one-way ticket with this guy down. He wasn't getting anything out of the players. And you know what? With Big Sam, if he can get the players to look like they actually like each other again, that would be a start. You know, ever since the Crystal Palace, the Crystal Palace result where we conceded the goal and everyone's heads dropped, and you hear rumors of everything, we don't know, we can't confirm. But my thing is, and please just don't take this out of context. If we was gonna get Sam Allardyce in, I wish we had got him in for the Leicester game, so we could have had him for Leicester and Bournemouth, because we don't know, but who knows, those results could have been different. I certainly don't think we would have gone to Bournemouth and lost 4-1. That's for sure. I don't think that would have happened. But you know, four games. I know a lot of people think they're insurmountable, but I don't. I don't see the Spurs one as insurmountable. I really don't. Not a home game against Tottenham. Tottenham are very. You just don't know what you're going to get for them. They, as we say, they're the top 6 leads. And Newcastle at home. I mean, Newcastle are flying. Fair point. But maybe we can get the storyline. Hey, maybe we can get the storyline. Big Sam upsets Newcastle's Champions League bid. Or it could be that Newcastle kill Sam Allardyce's Premier League hopes. Hopefully, it's the first one. But what the appointment's done for me anyway in the short term, which is exactly what this is just open the door of hope just a little bit. That's what it's done. It's what it's done for me, because I had zero hope with Javi Gracia here. I'll be honest. David is saying, yes, that's true, but they had to give Javi those 2 games. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, obviously, David, we don't know what happened at halftime, if anything, but it's quite clear that this guy had lost the dressing room. He'd lost them. These guys look like strangers. They don't look like they like each other. The football was tepid. We're playing defensively and can't defend. It wasn't working. So I would, if the Leicester game should have been the test of saying, you didn't get the win there, you know, we'll get Sam Allardyce in for Bournemouth. Who knows what would have happened? Who knows? And also, by the way, with Leicester, everyone keeps on getting Leicester out of this relegation scrap. I'm not. If Leicester are so good, they wouldn't be where they are. And also, why didn't they beat us in this sequence where we've been getting beaten badly by everybody else? Palace, Liverpool, Bournemouth, but Leicester only got a 1-1 draw. Then last night against Everton, another one of the worst teams, they draw 2-2. Leicester are still in this, people. It's just that the names that they've got, they shouldn't be here, but they are for a reason, and they have their weaknesses. So Leicester are in it as much as anyone, but people acting like Leicester are clear of everything. They're right in it with us. Gavin saying probably 2 million in his pocket for 4 games. It's worth it though, Gavin. It's worth it. If he keeps us up, that 2 million is light change. And that's what Radrizzani is looking at. Radrizzani is looking at it like, if he can keep us up, he's worth this payment, because if we go down, we lose so much more. And you know, you see the circus we are right now in the Premier League, people. For anyone that thinks that we're going to reset if we go down, if we're this bad in the Prem, it's only going to get worse in the Championship. You've seen what it's like when it gets bad at Leeds. Loads of you are old enough to know how bad it gets at Leeds when it's bad. Everyone looks for excuses. Players look for excuses not to play well. It all goes mad off the pitch, and that will happen again. I don't think it would be a smooth sailing path straight back up. I really don't. Billow saying Vardy gives them an edge over us and Everton. See, I don't. You know what? We give Vardy his renaissance, man. He scored again yesterday, innit? Thank you to Leeds, yeah, for getting back on the score sheet. Vardy is good, and I wouldn't say that, Bill. I would say Maddison would be the X factor, but even he, you know, missed his penalty last night. It's crazy what pressure does to you in these games. It's big pressure. There's 34 games gone. Leicester aren't down there by chance. After 34 games, you are where you are for a reason. And you know, you say Vardy's the difference. Maybe Rodrigo can be the difference for us. Nanto, that's something else. Listen, Sam Allardyce, let me get the name of the podcast. Was on his podcast last week, just last week, by the way, asking why Nanto wasn't playing. So at least we know with Sam, he'll play Nanto. And for all the, all the stuff that gets thrown at Sam Allardyce, he does like his ballers. He isn't a meat and potatoes English manager. It's just that he's had those kind of roles in his last few roles. Pardon the pun. But when he was at Bolton, he was getting all the players. I mean, yes, they were at the back end of their career, but he loved JJ Okocha, he loved Joe Kayev, he loved Ivan Campo. But then he'd also have a Kevin Davis in there to let you know what time it is. One of them. So he does mix it up, but we've just got to wait and see what he does. We just got to wait and see what he does. Yeah, I mean, Deshaun saying meat and potatoes. Yeah, because Tony Poulis was apparently the other name along with Lee Bowyer. Tony Poulis, man, I'm not sure about that one. I'll be honest. I think that would be a step too far for me. Mark saying it's the hope that kills you 100%. 100%. Mark Dooley, though, isn't having it. Allardyce, WTF, he ain't keeping us up. He'll zip us up in a body bag. Tremendous. Is that what it was called? Didn't I say that? Didn't I say Tippy Tappy podcast? Well, yeah, that's what it was on. Yeah. But yeah, listen, give me your thoughts then on Sam Allardyce. Let's go. Let's go. I mean, Gavin, yeah, we do need Southampton to beat Forest. It's highly unlikely though, isn't it? You've seen what Southampton have been serving up lately. Got to do it ourselves. Got to do it ourselves, people. Mr. Dodo here, tremendous name. Big Sam ain't as bad as people are making out. Look at the last two we've had. Anything is better than their track record. Okay. Liam is saying here, teams that we are playing at the top are under pressure too. We are overdue an upset. Well overdue, Liam. That's what I'm saying. You don't know what's going to happen in these last four games. I think we can pretty much say about the Man City one. I don't say free hits, people, but we just got to keep the score down in that one. If we got anything out of the Man City game, that's a point that I just couldn't see coming, but it's not happening. Let's be real. It's not happening. I know they play Real Madrid, a couple days after, but nah, it's not happening, mate. So let's just forget that one. Sam here saying it's a roll of the dice, but who else is there that could possibly S-house a few points that's available? Yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh, Wayne, I want to keep that one for later. Andrew, put Big Sam in goal. He might block a few. This is it. Look, you know what? I mean, on that point, will he make us more defensively sound? I know a lot of people are remembering when we turned him over at his old West Brom team. We turned him over a few times. But will he do that? I don't know, because I don't trust this defense. I don't trust them one bit. I don't trust them at all. So it's on him to get the best system possible to make them as strong as possible. But we know they're not strong. But he's got to fight. He's obviously watched Leeds plenty of times to comment on them as well. So he'll know what he wants to do and who to play. I just hope he gets it right. That's all we can do, people. We can only hope. But the defense has got to be stronger. The way that they've wilted in the last game since the Palace one, it's been nothing short of a disgrace. Nothing short of a disgrace, people. So let's see if he can do something better with the defense. Will he change the keeper? Who knows, Stephen? But unless he has a one-to-one chat with him and see what's going on in between his ears, see if it's anything there that he can like get out of him before the next games. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's have a look. Ted Garron here. Big Sam has a presence like a bouncer at the door staring you down. He will get effort. He will either drop McKennie literally or change his attitude. It's not really an attitude thing with McKennie. Maybe he'll put him in a more advanced role, Ted. Maybe he'll put him there instead of us seeing McKennie like playing deep, where that's not really his role. Maybe. Who knows? We don't know. Are we going to see the good old 4-4-2 again? Who knows? And Joe Matthews saying Nanto will be Izakacha. I think we'll be seeing more of Nanto than ever before. I don't think Nanto is going to get subbed under this guy. I think he was speaking really glowingly of Nanto, and he couldn't understand why he wasn't playing in any of the games that we were struggling in. And he was right. So if he sees that, I hope he sees other things that he can put in and make us get the points that we need. It's not a lot of points we need. It really isn't. Not everyone below us is going to pick up a bunch of points. If they were, they wouldn't be where they are. But it's up to us to get some, just get some points on the board, please, man. If 30 points, yo. Robert Kelso, you are clutching at straws here, but I appreciate it. Man City play West Ham tomorrow, then us, then Real Madrid clutching at straws. That is, I know. Yeah, so maybe they won't beat us so heavily. Maybe they won't beat us so heavily. I'm not usually so defeatist with stuff like that, but the last time it was when we was playing Liverpool, when we was under that rotten spell in February, and I predicted a 6-0, and it was 6-0. So when I feel like this, uh, I can't shake it. I wish I didn't feel like this about the team, but there's no evidence to tell me that they're not going to concede a bunch of goals against Man City. Not at this point, but maybe Big Sam is the answer. Behave yourself, McKenny and Big Sam. You know what, man? You guys, man. Honestly, um, yeah. Wait, sorry. Somebody just said about Everton. Who again didn't win yesterday. Don't think Forest or Everton get more than three. I'm looking at Forest versus Southampton. I think Forest will beat them. I do. If Southampton can even get a point, that would be welcome. But I do see Forest probably be winning that. So then it comes down to the Newcastle home game, West Ham away, who he's also managed before. So there's another storyline there we can try and right there. And then the Spurs game at the end of the season. I don't. If you don't watch Spurs, then you'll think that there's no chance in that game. But there is a chance against Tottenham. There is. As bad as we are. See, I'm trying. Can't even say maybe Big Sam is the answer with a straight face. I know, but this is where we are, people. It's desperate times, desperate measures. If he keeps us up, great. If not, the die was already cast, wasn't it? It was already cast. So, um, neither did I, Mr. Tom. Neither did I. Didn't have it on my bingo card. But then I didn't have this season on my bingo card. It's funny, man. We're in our third season of the Prem, and I never thought we was going to be here. In my head, I thought we was going to recruit much better. I didn't think we'd see half the players that are still here, which is part of the reason why we're in the position we're in, because the squad recruitment, and we'll move on to Orta in a bit. But I really thought by the third year we'd be scrapping for a Europa League place. I really did. And maybe that's my fault for being a bit too ambitious or putting too much weight on the Leeds United name. But I thought we'd be in much better condition than this. And we look like we're heading back to the championship in the midst of a circus. It's the Leeds United way. And a lot of people always ask me why I support Leeds United. And it's my mom. My mom supported Leeds United. Her favorite players were Billy Bremner and all those guys. She loved Bremner. That's her kind of player. So when I was growing up, that must have been in my subconscious to support this club. That's why I must have been naturally drawn to him. Blame Mumsy, man. But I love you, Mum. I love you. um, Ted Garron here saying, I laughed at Hodgson and look what he did. Sometimes all wisdom prevails. There is that take, isn't there, Ted, that Roy Hodgson's done well. But at the same time, Sam Allardyce doesn't have the run of games that Roy Hodgson did, and he doesn't have Leeds to play. So, Crystal Palace, when they sacked Vieira for Hodgson, they had a lovely run of fixtures. They kind of had the run of fixtures that we should have got more points of early in the season under Jesse Marsh, but they did it. And that's why Palace are home and dry. They don't have to worry. Sam Allardyce does have a bit of a tougher task with the fixtures at hand. Bomi here. Shout out to Bomi, Chelsea fan in the house. Hey KG, it's been a while. What the heck? What the hell is wrong with Leeds? You're hiring managers like Chelsea these days. Yeah, Chelsea, yeah, but without the trophies, Bomi. I wish we had the trophies to go with it. But yeah, okay. Back of the net. Supporting Leeds was never always about winning, KG. Don't we know it? Don't we know it? Back of the net. Don't we know it? But let's have a look. Okay, if that's enough on Allardyce, and yeah, welcome to Lee Sam Allardyce. Shout out to you. And please hit a like on the video if you haven't already. Best way to support the channel, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And yeah, Keen Jellier, always with that name. Mind over matter can make a difference in football. Growling Sam might make the difference. It was all mental at this stage. It really is. Talent. If it was about talent, Leicester wouldn't be where they are. They wouldn't. But it's about where you are mentally. So let's see, because at the moment, all the players to me look mentally shut. They look like they're checked out. They look like they want the season to finish tomorrow. Let's see if he can turn that around. Um, okay, just hold on a second. Hold on a second before we get into Mr. Victor Orta. Let me just check something here. Okay, right. Oh Lord. Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Right. So Victor Orta. Let's get into Victor Orta now, people. Um, let me just get the thing up here. Shit. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Right. So yeah, Victor Orta, via mutual consent, has left Leeds United. Hopefully, you can see that, everyone. Leeds United can confirm Victor Orta has left the club by mutual consent. Victor joined the Whites over the summer 2017. That's been long time, and helped the club oversee changes at the club that led to Leeds United being promoted back to the Premier League in 2020. Over the years, Victor and his team have been responsible for recruiting players and staff that have gone on to become legends of the club. Okay. Uh, he must be talking about Bielsa there, right? Legend's a very strong word. Owner Andrea Radrizzani said, I'm deeply saddened by the way that this chapter closes, as Victor has been responsible for some of the best moments of my time as owner of Leeds United, and I thank him and his people for all they've done in the past 6 years. However, it is clear that it is time to change direction, and therefore we have agreed that Victor will leave the club. I understand supporters are hurt and upset, but now it's time for unity. We have 4 cup finals left to play this season, and we're working together. I believe we can survive. Cup finals hype. Just get the job done. Enough with the words. I didn't even mean to read that last bit. But yeah, Victor Orta is gone. He is gone. I mean, Rafinha, Sam, legend. That's a strong word. That's a very strong word, but we all have our different variations of what a legend is to us. So that's fair enough. I love Rafinha. Everyone knows I love Rafinha. His shirt's right there. You know what? He's a baller, but legend, that's a strong word. Let me just get this here. Matt Scale saying, sorry, KG, late to the party. What are your thoughts? I'm giving them now, Matt. I'm giving them now. And if you've missed the Sam Allardyce portion, it's right at the beginning of the video. So just rewind the video when it finishes. Wayne Poppleton, though, says, at least the Vince Russo football has gone in Victor Orta. The change was needed. That's a tremendous one, Wayne. Vince Russo, if everyone doesn't know, was the writer of WWE back in the Attitude Era and TNA in the 2010s, I believe. But yeah, no, he had some good ideas, Victor. Vince Russo, Wayne. But the comparison is pretty right. They're both kind of maverick. They try and march to the beat of their own drum, kind of go off tilt, look left field for stuff instead of going for the things that is quite obvious. So I like that comparison, Wayne. I do. But yeah, Victor Orta, give me your thoughts on this, because I mean, my thoughts on it, and I thought we was going to do this at the end of the season, people. But I wanted somebody when he left to be less emotional, if that makes sense. I wanted somebody to be that can look at players and not judge with his heart and feeling and judge what he sees on the pitch and say, okay, it's time to move on from this player. Because I don't think there was enough of that. I don't think there was enough outgoings, and the incomings were questionable at times as well. I just feel that we need somebody who will watch the games and judge players by their ability and not by how they feel about them. And we've seen that he's a very emotional person, very, very emotional, too emotional for me, too emotional. When you're overhauling a squad, it's not all about incomings. That's why I always say when I'm judging transfer windows, it's about what you get out as well. And when you look, when I mentioned a couple of weeks ago about our bench featuring Forshaw, Ayling, and Bamford, that's part of the problem. You're not doing enough to make this squad better. Because people always say, well, at least they're on the bench, but those shouldn't be on the bench. There should be better players there in their place for better options, possibly it being in the first 11. But that's been part of the problem. We've needed this for a while. And what I won't go with though is the notion that everything he did that was good, i.e., Bielsa, Nanto, Rafinha, was lucky. I think that's being very disingenuous because he got those right. But as with anything, when you do something wrong, a it outweighs the good. That's with anything. And when I'm talking about the wrong things, by the way, because I always say on here as well, people, managerial choices, signings, it's all a risk. Everything. It doesn't matter where you sign them from. We signed Willy Nanto from the Swiss league, and he's one of our best players. We signed Rafinha from Rennes. You know, no one had heard of Rafinha before, and he become one of our best players. He was our best player. So it's not always about where you get them from, but you've got to make the right signings on the whole. Bjorn though is saying too little, too late. Yeah, okay. Below is saying only time Orta got signed is right was when Bielsa was hit, but that's not true though, is it? Because we signed Dan James, Bill. That was one where Bielsa wanted to. So that again, let's not do this. You know, there was errors throughout the time. Okay, but the two things for me that did it well, along with the arguing with fans. Listen, you know what? When you're a director of football, you should rise above the fans. You should. You don't really see a lot of directors of football or directors in general go at fans, even when they're giving you pelters. You have to rise above it. You're in that position because you allegedly know more. That's what you get paid the big bucks for. But when you're giving it back to fans after a 2-2 draw at home against Brentford, who didn't have Ivan Toney, you got to reel that in, or at least just give it the old Hulk Hogan. Just do that. But sticking your fingers up, nah, that's a bit too much. Because at the end of the day, you just have to brush it off. Sometimes in life, man, you have to go high when people go low, and you've got to rise above it. You have to. Don't sink to people's levels. And that's what he did. And it makes him look like a clown. What's the old saying? If you argue with a fool, guess what? There's two fools. And that's what he did. He didn't do enough of rising above it. And that didn't endear him to the fan base. It didn't. Yeah, Gavin, that nonsense was very unprofessional. It is. It is. You should be able to express what you want, and I get it. He's an emotional guy, but you've got to harness it, channel it in a different way. You have to when you're in that kind of position. Nikita here saying Nort just has no idea how to buy defenders. Generally, really good with wingers though. Wingers. I mean, we got to talk about that as well because that is in one of the big reasons why for me he had to go. But Nikita's right here. Defenders, it's been shambolic, and even in the last summer when Jesse Marsh did say that we need a left back, then obviously got word from Victor Andrea to say in the next press conference, say no, we don't need one. We can play Pascal there if you remember. If you remember that, people, there were left backs aplenty, and that's where I look at other clubs' recruitment. I look at Villa by themselves when they got Gerrard in, and he moved out Matt Target because he wasn't going to use him anymore. Bought in Luca Dean. Gerrard then leaves. They've still got Luca Dean, who they've paid some good money for, and Unai Emery comes in and says, "Not for me. Get me Moreno." Now they're getting Moreno. It's about being proactive. It's about going with what your coach needs. It's about looking at your team's needs and going, okay, that hasn't worked. Let's don't keep trying it. Get them out if we can. Get somebody else in. And again, there wasn't enough proactiveness in the transfers. And Andy here, Orta didn't ever buy proven players, always looking for a project. And this is where you guys know, and I'm sure Andy, you've been a member of the channel a long time. I always say about proven. You can talk about proven, but it's not always the case. But he did miss out on some obvious ones. You know, the fact that we wasn't in for left backs like Tagliafico, who I think went for something like 4 million. We should have been involved in that summer. We could have got him. We could have got someone like that at left back. But Andy, in terms of proven, I was speaking to West Ham Dan today, who they signed Danny Ings in January, And I said in January that Danny Ings would have been perfect on loan, never on a permanent. Wouldn't want Danny Ings on a permanent because then you're stuck with that contract for the next 4 years. And West Ham fans can't believe that they spent 15 million on him. He's on something like 125,000 a week, and he's not worked out there. Same with Spurs with Basuma and Richarlison, who just scored his first league goal of the season for them. It's not always prem proven. It's about your talent ID. I can't say that enough. Some of the best players in Premier League history didn't start in the Premier League. They came from other leagues. Most of them did, in fact. There's very few that are that are there's very few players in the Premier League that start from their own clubs who are greats. I mean, you think of Steven Gerrard, Harry Kane, Frank Lampard, and guys like that. But generally, the best players have been foreigners. Aguero, Henry, you know, the best players are usually foreigners. It's not about the nationality; it's about the talent ID. And what next? Leeds United is saying if they're over 25 years old, Orta isn't interested, unfortunately, and that's something I was going to mention at the end of the season. This is something I was going to go on because it sounds crazy, this will, but maybe it won't. But Max Verber signed for us when he was 24, right? I I just wonder if Max Verber was 25, closer to 26, would we have signed him? I'm not sure. I don't know if we would have signed him. I know we did the Rodrigo thing, and that was clearly to get the best years out of Rodrigo at that time, get the rest of his peak years, and that's fine. But in general, it's true, isn't it? And that's why I look at certain players because there's certain players I want to see come in the summer if we're still in the Prem, and they're not 24. Some of them are 26, 27. Um, but it just seems like there is an age thing. Maybe that's a club direct just to make sure that there's resale value in the players. Could be that. But yeah, that's something else I want to see differently with the next recruiter. Uh, let's have a look. Two Joes is saying Henry and Aguero are in good leagues though. Austrian league players with average stats were never doing well. I mean that's fair, but then Nanto Swiss league. I mean, are we rating the Swiss league that highly? I don't think we are. A lot of people don't rate the French league. I rate the French league highly. I love watching French league and football, but a lot of people wouldn't rate that one. They think it's PSG and nothing. So, and there's been other players that have come from more obscure places than just those players. And even Henri, when he first came, wasn't a proven player. He was very raw. He was used as a almost as a winger at the time, and then he turned into an inside forward under Arsene Wenger, and the rest is history, isn't it? So, but yeah, I think you generally get what I mean. Yeah, here we go. Michael Brown, this is a good one. Clubs with vision always build from the back. Newcastle, for example, first Eddie Howe signing was Trippier 25, Burn 13, Botman 35, Pope 10. Only 4 defeats all season. Good standard Premier League defenders. Yeah, 100%. 100% Michael Brown. Are you the same Michael Brown? No, you're not. But yeah, 100%. This is correct. But we seem to build from the wing out, which is incredible. And I'm speaking on things now where two things that would get you the sack alone. The first one is obviously the JKA saga. I said a couple weeks ago when the amount came out for JKA that we're basically going to have to pay his contract up. That's 40 million gone for an asset that we've barely touched, barely used. That's sackable. You've literally put 40 million of the company's money, of the business's money, into nowhere for no reason. Broken a contract, broken agreement. We was never ever gonna win that case, and you've got to pay for that. Someone has to pay for that, and that would be like Victor Orta in that sense. Uh, Barbs is saying wasn't Trippier like 12? I don't know. I think there was add-ons in the fee, but I got what the guy was saying. And the second one, of course, is Jorginho Rutter. Now, let me make this clear. Jorginho Rutter. Let me see. Okay, so this is yeah. Jorginho Rutter, by the way, isn't a flop. I've seen a lot of people say he's a flop. You can't be a flop if you haven't played. And this is part of the problem. You spent 35 million on that position. And at the time, I said, okay, he's here. Let's see what he's got. The problem is, we haven't seen what he's got. He comes on in spurts when we've been down in games 4, 5-1. He gets charity minutes at the end of certain games. We haven't seen this, guys. We haven't seen this guy play properly under the managers that have had him. That's a problem. That's a mistake. And you just wonder who who else give the okay? Did Jesse say okay at the time, or was this a pure Victor Orta thing? Thinking about the future sail on and everything else like that. He's not playing. And that 35 million, as a lot of people have said, could have gone on other things. It could have gone on other positions. If you're going to loan out Cody Drame, get us another right back. But again, that's on recruitment, thinking that the two right backs enough that were poor up until that point were going to be good enough for the rest of the season. That's it. You've got to be better with your signings like that. That's 35 million that we could have done with right now in other positions, and we don't have it. We don't have it. We're not even using the asset. What does he look like? Under 21s? Don't know, because he's just in the first team, training with them and not hardly playing. That's bad business. But it's not on Jorginho. He's come here and he's not getting an opportunity. And if he's not good enough to play, again, that is on Orta, I'm afraid. So yeah, I mean, let me see if I can get this up. I mean, it's quite a lengthy thing. Pause on that one. Hold on a minute. Oh yes, yeah, okay. See if I can come back to you. Hold on a second, people. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this big enough, but let me try. Let me try. Hold on. Uh, no, don't share. No tab audio. Here we go. All right. Okay. I don't think anyone can see that. I don't think anyone can see that at all. But basically, on LUFC Twitter, LUFC data, he's put out a full list of Victor Orta signings. People, I know a lot of people can't see that. I'm just going to get rid of that. I don't think you can see it unless you're watching on TV. You can probably see it there. But there's a whole list of signings that Victor Orta has made, so you can see the full list of what he's done. And yeah, there's more hits. There's more misses than hits. But bro. Famous E saying Rutter probably promised all sorts when he joined, got to feel for the guy. I think that's the same for quite a lot of them. They probably thought that they were joining a club that was going to be mid-table, and look where they are. But that's another thing I want to look at as well, by the way, with this next director of football. Because for me, we don't know, but Victor Orta gives me the impression that if he loves the player when he first meets him, if he gets on with him, if he feels that they've got good energy, that he'll sign him. I need the next person to get the signings right and ask him. I need a more mental check, because when you play for Leeds United, can see put it back. I'll put it back in a second. When you play for Leeds United, you need a certain mentality. You have to have it. It's a one club city. You can't escape it. You walk in the streets, you walk in town, you're going to bump into a Leeds United fan who will probably tell you how much the club means to them and what it means for, to see their club play on the weekend. You can't escape it. This isn't like a city where there's loads of different clubs for you can hide in anonymity. You can't. You have to get embraced in it and realize that to a lot of people, this is everything. And I don't think a lot of people, when they sign for Leeds, embrace that enough. I don't think that they embrace it enough. I don't think they're ready for it. And this is long before Victor Orta. This is back in the Championship, where we used to sign players that used to get 10, 12 goals at other clubs, come to Leeds and absolutely hide. And I think that needs to be something that the next recruiter does a check on. Just a simple question like, yeah, we're expecting to finish mid-table, but what happens if we're, after 34 games, we're 18th in the league? Get their initial shock, get their initial reaction, their initial face. Do they fancy it? What are they saying about that? You need to know people's mental state in things. And of course, in interviews, you're always going to give the best impression of yourself. We know that. But there needs to be a more stringent check, not just on the talent they've got, but on the mentality they hold as well. Mr. Tom, you know it. Noah Hunt is just one example, though, Mr. Tom. Noah Hunt is just one. You remember, but yeah, he's just one of them. Somebody said Billy Sharp. Billy Sharp wasn't one of them. He didn't get a lot of goals, but at the time, it's when we had no wingers and had about 12 central midfielders. He weren't getting the service. But yeah, he's just one example of many players that love the idea of coming. You could go with Stephen Warnock. So many players. Barry Douglas. Look what he was doing at Wolves. He looked like an amazing left back. We finally thought we finally solved the Ian Hart problem. He comes to Leeds. He was poor. He was absolutely rubbish. I'm telling you, it's a thing of playing for Leeds. Whether I know, oh, what's his name? Who says there's a curse? There's always someone in the car. I forget who says that Leeds United's curse, but you've got to check their mental. Every single time we get a play, Helder Costa looked like he was going to be a star in the championship, and he was meaty most of the time. Oh, Mr. Tom Painter. I mean, look, the list goes on, doesn't it? The list absolutely goes on. Weight of the badge. It's heavy. It's heavy. Cow flap kid. Sorry. I hope that has no deep meaning to you. Agree. Mentality is every bit as important as talent. It is. I often wonder, and it's very easy to say, but I wonder if some of the clubs like Bournemouth, like Brighton, who are doing as well as they are, would be doing as well as if that team was right at Leeds as we speak now. I don't know. It's just a different kind of. It's a different mentality you got to be here. And Rafinha had it. Rafinha had it. Nanto's got it. You see, he's got it. But a lot of the players, they don't have it, man. But yeah, okay. Somebody said you can see it. Let me see if you can see it. If you can, if you're watching on TV, I'll put it back up for you. Pause. But yeah, here's Victor Orta and his signings. Yeah. And as you can see, by the age range alone, apart from Robles there with his 32, they're pretty much all under 25, which is why I said with Max Verber, I do wonder if he was 25, nearer to 26, would we have even signed him? Crazy stuff. Um, oh. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, it's over on the LUFC Data's page. Go check him out. He's always got all that good stuff. He's excellent with this kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, CB here saying someone told me how we go from Bielsa to Big Sam in 2 years. It's the Leeds United way. It's the Leeds United way. Um, Casper Slough, Lord have mercy. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, before we get out of here, anything else you want to quickly get off your chest in regards to Allardyce and Orta? Let me know. If not, just put it in the comments after the video is done. Because yeah, I don't think I'll be back today. I don't think there's going to be any other news besides Sam Allardyce is in place for the remaining 4 games to try and keep us up. And I think it is as simple as that. Yeah, LUFC Data is a top guy, man. Chris, he's been doing it for years. He's been doing it for years, man. He's really good at what he does. So yeah, check him out. Just check him out because he's got all the stuff you need. Sometimes he doesn't even want to post it. He says, you know what, I would give you the stats from today, but I don't want to. I'll see you tomorrow. And I completely understand. Um, Scott Line in here saying, I hope Orta gets a new job and can buy Ailing, Cooper, Bamford, and Forshaw off us. Yeah, I mean, Forshaw will be gone for free. Well, he better be, unless he's gotten a new deal. God damn it. If you know what, I and hopefully that cuts out as well. That cuts out. If Forshaw somehow has 2 amazing games in the next 2 games, let's just say he does, I hope that doesn't equal a year's extension. That kind of stuff needs to be cut out as well. Seen it this year with Luke Ayling. See, while Jack Harrison's having his purple patch, gets a new 5-year deal, gets that announced. That stuff needs to be cut out from the club as well. Has to be. Has to be. Wayne, if we stay up, are you drowning in a crate of super malt? I got super malts in the fridge, Wayne. If I was to wait for every time Leeds United won a game, I'd never drink a super malt again. So I drink them, but just not on air, not at this moment in time. If we do anything against Man City, if we only lose 4-0, I might drink one then. um, yeah. Paul. I forgot to mention this, but he's right. We can always pretend he's called Sam Allardyce. I was going to say, if I ever call him Sam Allardyce, it's just to make myself feel better. So shout out to you, Paul, for that one. John F. need to be ruthless about upgrading. 100%. Can't keep doing this sentimental stuff. That's why we're in the position we're in because there's not enough quality in the squad because he wouldn't let people go. Look at that sideshow that happened with Mateus Click in January, crying and all that. Come on. I know you feel attachment to some of the players, but this is a business, and at this point, the business is about to lose nearly 200 million if it keeps going in the direction it is. Please. I don't know any director of footballs that I fancy. I haven't really thought about it. Maybe give me another stream and I can give some names. But the Orta news kind of came out of nowhere. I was expecting to do all of this at the end of the season, and here we are, 4 games from the end. We're talking about a new manager for the rest of the season and the director of football left. It's just the Leeds United way, isn't it? It's unbelievable. Um, Jed is saying here, whole new backline except Verber in the summer. Jed, I would love to see it. I would love to see it, but I don't know if they're gonna do it. We'll see. We'll see if this second year, if we somehow survive this season, we'll see if this second year has jolted them enough to say, sorry, lads, you're gonna have to go. I want to see all new defenders. One of my in my list, I've got a bunch of defenders I want to see here. I've got a whole new back line. I've got a whole new back line, real men in the back. None of this soft stuff. I got real men to defend Leeds United, but we'll see what happens in it. We'll see what happens with the playing staff come the summer. See what league we're in, because I got to tell you, I don't have a list for the championship right now. I don't have him. Not even one name. I'm going to give you anything. All I've got is promote some of our better youngsters in the team, but I don't have any names to buy right now in the championship. I'd have to give that some real big thought. Kevin Echoes is saying Big Sam now, Potter in the summer. No, for me, I like someone's suggestion yesterday. I can't remember your name, so apologies. But he said to give it to Brendan Rodgers for 18 months. No, 3 years. The first 18 months is to rebuild it, and 3 years is the max you get out of Brendan Rodgers anyway. And I really like that idea. I do think there's better. I would hope that a Gallardo would be available come the summer. He'd want to take it on from the start. But yeah, Brendan Rodgers for 3 years. Hey, you want proven? He's won an FA Cup recently. You know, almost took Liverpool to the brink, and we all know what happened there. Slippy G. So yeah. Michael Brown, KG, can you name your defenders? No, I can't. No, I'm gonna wait for the stream to do it. No, I'll keep them to myself until that time comes. Just tune in and I'll let you know then. Mm, let's have a look. What's that? Tanya here saying, I think getting Big Sam is hilarious. Like you, I'm feeling more positive now. I think he has the oomph and character to push the players. I mean, I know I said I'm a bit more positive, but I don't want to make it out like I'm on an Allardyce hype train. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that that's how bad it got under Javi Gracia, where I'm looking at this guy and I don't see anything. I don't see ideas. I don't see life. You know, when you look for I'm going to tell you something. When I'm Googling a picture of Javi Gracia, and you can do this after. Put Javi Gracia Leeds United. All the pictures look the same. All of them look the same. He's doing the same face in nearly every one. There's no different picture for this guy. He literally looks the same in everything. And that is the problem. Whether you're 1-0 up or 5-1 down, he looks the same every time. That's no good to me. Show something, a bit of emotion. I told you before, I don't need anyone slamming down bottles or getting angry, but just show me something different. All of his pictures look the same. But yeah, Javi Gracia, that was a one-way train down. This does open the door to a little bit of hope, though. There's a glimmer of light left, just a glimmer. You never know. You never know. Crazier things have happened. Um, Scally whiskey. I think KG has secretly been hoping Big Sam came in. Scally, if we was to guess 10 names if Javi Gracia got sacked, Sam would not be on the list. He wouldn't be anywhere near. I would never have thought it. That's why I thought it was a wind up. That's why, like Brownie, I had to double check it wasn't a hoax. I had to check. And then, when Tobe sent it to me, I was like, it's real. So, yeah, the high priestess, Gracia, has no presence. He's got none. And the players look like they have just tuned out of him. And again, one thing I'm going to just reiterate before we leave. Players, you're not getting away with this. What is it now? The fourth manager this year, Bielsa, Marsh before. Bielsa, Marsh is part of it. You're all part of this. this is not just on Orta, this is not just on Rajazani, it's on the playing staff. This is what the players in the championship used to get away with when Chilino was doing his madness, when things were going wrong there. They used to use the ownership as a cop out. You even had the one player, what was it, on the last day of January when McDermott got sacked, trying to angle a move on Sky Sports. Another one where some fans see him as a hero. I don't. But he was there on Sky Sports. It's disappointing. It's all a mess. I don't know if I can be here. Are you mad? This is what I'm saying. When things are going wrong off the pitch, it gives players an excuse on, but the players are culpable for this mess. There's no reason for us to be in this position. We're not one of the worst teams that bad where we've only got 30 points on the season. I refuse to believe it. Not with some of the players that we've got. But hey, as Jaguar Skills here says, it's desperate times, desperate measures, but I feel you. I feel you. Michael Gott saying O'Leary on TalkSport said Jesse signings were totally wrong and should have been defensive base. Yeah, I only caught a bit of what O'Leary said, but he did say that we're in trouble, but he hopes that we're not, we don't go down. Always get a little sentimental and brings back the good memories when I hear O'Leary talk, man. Just what an era. What an era. It's a long way from those days, though. Long way from those days. And I'm on that note, I am going to load up Premier League years in just a moment. So I'm about to go down memory lane, people. But listen, until then, okay, let me just answer this because I answered this the other day. But JBL, I don't think that's John Bradshaw Layfield, but I think, JBL here is saying, if we manage to stay up, are we then stuck with McKennie? Once again, that's an option to buy. And I don't think either party is going to take the move up. I don't think Leeds are going to spend 33 million on him. And I don't think McKennie is going to stay at Leeds United after the period he's had here. So unlike the JKA saga, where that was an obligation and all the contracts are signed, this is one where you agree the fee at the end of the season if we stay up, and then we can negotiate a contract. Nothing's been signed. The only agreement that we've got is Juventus that it's a set fee of 33 million, but it's an option to buy. So both of us are interlocked in any contracts. So, and I don't think McKennie's going to stay. So no, we won't be with McKennie next season, I don't think. John H, it's not an obligation if we stay up, it's an option. Really and truly, it's an option. But yeah. Ian here saying the players need a clothesline from hell right now, KG. Yeah. You know what? There was also somebody else on TalkSport earlier I think it was from LUFC Trust. And he didn't exactly say that the old guard or anything were the problem. He just said that they were down on confidence and didn't look like themselves. And it's like, guy, these things don't help. These things don't help. If you're not going to say it how it is, then what are you doing talking for however members of the LUFC Trust there are? It's all a problem. And to say that they're just down on their luck or down in confidence is insane. It's absolutely insane. But hey, Matty Turner saying we might as well get behind him. Come on, Big Sam. 100%, by the way, people. If I don't think I made it clear, I'm going to be behind him. I'm going to be, I'm going to back him. Let's see what he can do. If he can keep us up, great. If not, we've lost nothing because we're kind of going down that path anyway. But yeah, 100% get behind him, even if he's not your first choice. And whose first choice is he? Let's be real. Just get behind him and let's see what the guy can do. Give him all the support when it's the home games. Let's go, man. Let's go. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. I think I've got everything done. Have I got everything? Let me just check my notes before I do sign off for the day. Yep. Lovely jubbly, all done. Thank you all anyway. Anyway, listen, there's over 600 of you here. If you could all hit the like button, that would be lovely. Best way to help the channel. Subscribe if you want to stick with me. And yeah. And Nicole Brown, listen, the NSYNC thing will roll 2 streams in a row. Let me do it. About time Lee said bye to this. To be honest, this is vindication of Jesse. Excited though. There's no vindication. I don't get why. You know what? This is another conversation. I don't get how some people's minds work. Jesse wasn't going anywhere, Nicole. His record was atrocious. It's just that the contingency plans weren't there, which is another reason why Orta's gone. He's gone because of that. He didn't have a contingency in place to replace Jesse Marsh. much like he did when he sacked Bielsa for Marsh. He didn't have it in place, and which is why we're kind of in the position we're in. And with Javi Gracia just gone, it's not a vindication of anybody. It's a vindication that we've done things wrong for the last couple of years. But anyway, on that note, bye, bye, bye. Don't want to be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for two. See you later, people. Peace out.